Welcome to another video where we talk about all things audit. I'm Rebecca from Macquarie University.
And I'm Nelson from the University of Technology, Sydney.
Today we want to talk about some rules for Australian companies, so specifically rules that seek to maintain auditor independence and audit quality. The first rule we want to talk about is auditor rotation. After 5 years, the audit partner, they have to take a break for 2 years. Why is that?
The audit partner and management work together for a number of years, and that can create the familiarity issue. As they get to know each other really well, all of a sudden it's difficult for the auditor and the audit partner specifically to see management, to see them without bias.
But there can be other reasons why auditors may change.
Yes, absolutely. So we've talked about audit partners changing. Audit firms may also change. So it might be from the perspective of management, where they dismiss the auditor and say, we no longer want to work with you. Or the auditor saying, well, we no longer want to work with you, management and the company, and they resign. So they're infrequent, but they're quite important, aren't they?
They are. There can be two reasons why that may happen. One of them is, for example, the audit fee that's charged by the audit firm. Perhaps the client firm thinks that they can get a better offer or a better deal by going to a different audit firm. But there are some more troubling reasons. For example, if management isn't giving the audit firm access to all the relevant information, and in doing so, the auditor can't actually conduct the audit properly, and they're not able to look at all the evidence that they might need. This can be troubling though.
Yeah, it can be, but we do have audit rules in place to safeguard, to ensure that management are doing the right thing. So for instance, if management dismiss the auditor, then it has to go for a vote by shareholders. So shareholders have to decide if they want, or if they approve this decision. So that way, they're ensuring that the new auditor isn't subject to any major risks of, say, intimidation or familiarity. We've talked about rules relating to audit partners, the audit firms, their changes. What about in relation to specific staff members?
There are some rules for employees of the audit firm as well. One of those rules is that an employee for the audit firm is not allowed to take up working for the client firm for at least 2 years. So there has to be that cooling off period. And there are two main reasons for that. The first one is self-interest. And the concern here is if you know that you're going to be paid by your client in the future, then that may bias your opinion and you may be incentivized to not perform high quality audit. The other reason is familiarity, and that's because by going through the interview process, you perhaps get to know management, and then again, when you're conducting the audit, you may not be doing a proper job because you know management, and again, you're incentivized to make the firm look good because you know that you'll be working there in the near future.
So we've talked about the audit firm changes, audit partner changes, individual staff members. What about the services that auditors can provide?
Yeah, so there are some rules here as well. There are certain non-audit services that the audit firm is not allowed to provide. For example, the audit firm is not to provide legal counsel to the client. They're not allowed to provide accounting or bookkeeping services, and they're also not allowed to provide recruitment processes. There are two main reasons for this. So the first one is self-review, and that relates to specifically bookkeeping. If I'm the accountant and creating the financial reports that are then intended to be handed over to the auditor, if I'm then auditing my own work, chances are I'm not going to do a good job of this. The second one is self-interest. Quite often these non-audit services, the audit firm actually gets a really large fee for this. So then there is a monetary incentive to not upset the client in the audit, which then again can bias our opinion. Are there any other threats for these particular non-audit services?
Yeah, in terms of legal counsel, there's this concern of advocacy where the auditor is promoting or speaking on behalf of advocating for management and the company. And when it comes to recruitment, you have also the issue of advocacy, advocating for a particular employee that may be quite important to the company. As well as the issue of familiarity. If you're involved in hiring a particular employee of the company, then that can be problematic in that it creates this familiar relationship.
But there are certain things they're allowed to do.
Yes, absolutely. So there are services like valuation, taxation or consulting, whether it be management or compensation consulting, that the auditor can provide to the company. Of course, auditors do have to disclose whether or not it compromises their independence. So those are the main rules in place to safeguard auditor independence and audit quality. So hopefully this video helped. There'll be links to the references in the description. see you for the next video.